Hi Don, how are you?
Hey Jenna, good. How are you?
I'm doing good. I am getting through emails and texts and phone calls.
Oh, I know it never ends, huh?
Yeah, I my market manager took yesterday off, so I told her I'd keep track of our email inbox, and so I was replying to a few of our emails. And Bismarck is we're really lucky. It's just expanding. We have a lot more vendors and attendance. But of course, that means like more applications that we can't accept, and people who want to be part of the market, but they don't fall under our rules, and just people who have a hard time hearing that they can't vend at the market. It's been that type of email morning.
I completely understand. We've been growing for the last few years now, and we get a lot of those too. It seems like every year I approve um at least 25 to 30 new vendors, and it's just crazy. But then you get those people that you have to tell no because for us it's handmade, homemade, homegrown, and
Yeah, same. And we're also trying to do a balance between, arts and crafts vendors and cottage foods and agriculture. We of course always want more ag vendors, but on the other hand, we have a lot of art and crafts vendors, but that's not something we necessarily can accept everything. We're trying to institute like a 30% of the market. And it's been good. We're at 32, so we're a little over. And so we've actually had to start waitlisting some people, which is great, but it's also just like, oh my God.
yeah, I mean, we don't have like a percentage rule, just because, you know, we honestly, farmers market kind of relies on those craft vendors, those bakers. Their fees really support the local produce and meats and eggs and stuff. So, and a good chunk of our vendors like do both. Like I have a vendor who does like some treats type stuff, but she does eggs too. And yeah,
Mhm. Yeah.
so
Yeah.
yeah, I know it's challenging. And then you get those people in the community, you're like, well, you need more produce. And I mean, I get
We're
that, but I
trying.
can't force people to grow food.
Right. Like if it's not there, it's not there.
Yeah.
And yeah, Bismarck has the two other farmers markets and in different parts of town, and so different audiences, I suppose, and different farmers who are loyal to different markets. And
Yeah.
we have a good deal. We allow our ag vendors to do like cottage foods, baked goods, arts and crafts, and that kind of stuff. And obviously, like that's not we couldn't say no to that. We actually had a suggest we were talking the other night at our board meeting, and someone said, "Oh, like this farmer had soap, and I didn't think they would have soap. Oh, I didn't know it was another soap person." And another board member who is fairly new had said, "Well, maybe we should make the vendors and the choose between what category they'll sell." And I was just like, no, no, we can't do that to our ag vendors. We tell them all to diversify and to offer, various things. So no, we couldn't, no, we won't be asking the ag vendors to choose.
Right. I
Yeah.
know. I think they're better off, all of our vendors better off diversifying a little. Um, but yeah, it's
Yeah. Yeah, but
crazy.
overall we're lucky. It's a lot of great people. I mean, we don't have to turn away too many people, but it's getting to the point where we have to be more selective.
I know we have one vendor. She's an MLM, Tastefully Simple, but she was grandfathered in before the,
Yeah.
and I'm just like, Not that I don't like her, but I just cannot wait for the day that she's done because then I can stop answering questions on why she's
Yes, and
allowed to be a part
explaining.
of it.
Yeah. Hi,
Yeah.
Stephanie. How are you?
Hi, pretty good. I've got my mug of hot Theraflu in hopes that my voice doesn't give out halfway through. So I
No,
think we'll
that's
be
good.
okay.
Are you feeling better or still kind of
Yeah, it's just cycling through, it has to work its way
the
out.
flight, I suppose, too?
I don't know. Yeah.
Hmm. We're just comparing our vendor farmers market stories,
Yeah.
our blessings.
This town
I was
square.
gonna,
Oh, sorry,
yeah,
go ahead.
go ahead, Steph. No, go ahead,
I was
Stephanie.
just asking when town square market opens.
We opened last weekend.
Oh, great.
Very
Yeah,
nice.
it was super busy. First weekend's always what we call Global Friends Weekend because every weekend we do entertainment and a featured nonprofit, but that first weekend Global Friends takes on both of those roles, and so they do. This organization puts together like entertainment around the new Americans in our community, and so this past weekend dances and singing and stuff like that, and we were packed.
Oh, that's
We
so
were
great.
That's
absolutely
awesome.
packed. So, and even had a bit of produce considering it was only June 15th.
Nice.
Ah,
So, yeah. No, it was a great weekend. Um, I was going to ask you, Jenna, how does Bismarck handle insurance requiring insurance for vendors?
We we recommend insurance have their our vendors have their own insurance, that they keep liability, and I believe we keep liability, and workforce safety insurance because we have some staff as well and volunteers. And that's about it. And we've been really
Do you
lucky so far. So
do you check do you check for their insurances or
no,
okay.
we have
I
not.
I know Red River requires it, and I just really struggle with requiring, somebody who decorates press-on nails to carry thousands of dollars worth of insurance policy.
Hmm.
So, and I know Minnesota, so the Minnesota equivalent of Farmers Market and Growers Association, they hold a group policy.
Okay.
So vendors across the state can be a part of that group policy, which I wanted to even just float talking the idea around our Farmers Market and Growers Association.
yeah.
Yeah, that would be interesting.
Have either of your markets looked at Campbell Risk Management?
I
They're
have,
an insurance company that specializes in working with farmers and farmers market vendors, and in fact are have been endorsed by the Farmers Market Coalition. And I think at one time the North Dakota Farmers Market and Growers Association endorsed them too. So most of your farmers, if they have a farm, they should have a farm policy and they're insured under their farm policy, or
yeah,
they can add a rider. But for small businesses, like I had a bakery business, I didn't have a farm. Um, I paid, I think like $375 a year, something like that, for a farmer's market insurance policy under Campbell Risk Management. And that covered
okay.
me, like if somebody trips over the tie out stake on my awning and hurts themselves, or whatever, the wind picks up
Yeah,
my tents and it damages someone's car.
Yeah, thank you,
yeah,
Stephanie. I know like as
I
our
was,
board, we have like DNO through Farmers Union, and so we're, financially, I think, protected against certain things. And we did have a vendor of ours trip in the park. And so we're kind of also with Parks and Rec, I think we're kind of covered with them and their general policy because we vend in their park. But I do know, when we have special events, we had to charge like axe throwing, beer gardens, like they have to pay extra to add Parks and Rec onto their policy for the event.
Yeah.
Yeah, we carry liability too, but I just, I know, so prior to me, I mean, I was a vendor at the market, but prior to me running the market, um, we had a lady 2 years in a row, she didn't stake down her tent or she didn't like weigh it down and it blew over and hit someone. So yeah, I know. So now it's just in our guidelines and we drill at home. You are required to have weights. And if you don't have weights, you could be fined
Yeah, we have
and
those
then
in our
ultimately
plans, too.
removed from the market.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Hi,
we don't mess
Tracy.
around
Hi,
with that anymore.
Felicity. Welcome. Sorry to interrupt you, Don. I just wanted to
No.
Hello.
acknowledge. But yeah, that's definitely something to think about. And I was just in my Farm Commons Guiding Resilience session. We're talking about employment law and risk. And so, yeah, volunteer, the things that apply to farmers kind of apply to our farmers markets too.
Yes.
Jenna, whenever you have a minute, could you enable screen sharing?
Yeah. You should have it. Oops, I don't want to share. You go ahead and share.
How's everything in Jamestown, Tracy?
Good. Going good. Kind of a busy time of year once, the weather breaks. It's like boots on the ground, let's go.
Yeah. Do you garden?
I used to, but I didn't the last 2 years. I wish I did, but no.
Well, some years it's just easier not to.
I'm just gone too much this year and
Mm.
there's no one that can take care of it. And that makes me more upset if I do it and then it's like it looks great and then it's like, oh, and with all this rain, it would be growing like a weed. So it's like I just know I can't this year.
Yeah.
Too many functions. But I have a lot of friends that do, so.
That's the way, and then they maybe give you some produce,
Yeah.
at least zucchini.
Oh my gosh. Everybody seems to have just a bunch. Hey, I was going to ask you, where do you find your June berries? I've been having trouble since I came back to them. We used to have them like crazy years ago, but I have hardly found anybody that has a bunch anymore.
They grow pretty wild a lot up in the Turtle Mountains.
Oh,
So
okay.
we see there'll be especially people from over closer to Dunseith and Belcourt will post on Facebook Marketplace like June berries for sale, so much a gallon.
Okay.
But man, I don't know. I think there used to be a farm by um Velva that had like you pick June like that's a good
We
question.
had them like they were crazy years ago. I mean, we could have picked a 5-gallon bucket every other day, but I think they only last so long too. And we don't, I'll have to watch for them now next year and try to go on. I mean, I won't mind picking them, but I just don't even know where you even find them anymore.
Uh Google Ostley Sunnyside Acres. They used to have a U-Pick patch. They're up by Carrington.
Okay.
Mike Ostley is the director for the North Central Research Extensions, or is that North Central? The Carrington Research Extension Center.
Okay. Yeah, I've heard of them. So, okay.
I'm just gonna give everyone a few more minutes to get signed on before we officially start.
Tracy, I've been keeping an eye on the Juneberry bushes in the park behind my house. So that's where I'm gonna get mine.
It's funny because I went to a wedding last year in Minnesota, and outside the venue, they were wild, and they said, you can have as many as you want. We're done with them. So we did go pick a whole bunch, but they said they're not that popular there, that people aren't, that much into them. And I'm like, did you just plant them by chance? How did you get them to grow like this? They said we had no clue when we started it that it would take off like that. And they were really, they had a whole bunch. So it was like, that was really nice. But just by chance, we found them.
Oh gosh.
Okay, I suppose we'll get started here. I shared a link to the agenda in the chat. Oh, and some more people are coming on here, and there's always one. Let's send it again so everyone can see it. So welcome. We're at our June meeting, which I know everyone says it around this time of year, but it's crazy that it's already halfway through June and halfway through the year. And so for our warm-up question, I put, what's your favorite summer activity? Since we're a couple days away from the summer solstice, the longest day of the year. And then also provide your name, location, and affiliation. And I will start and then I'll popcorn, and then whoever goes after me will popcorn to the next person. So I'm Jenna Nieders. I am in Bismarck. I work with farms as well as NDLFDA as the board secretary, and also on my Bismarcket, my local farmers market board. I also help operate as well. And my favorite summer activity, I'm going to take the best answer right away. I'm going to say farmers markets and popcorn Felicity.
Hi, my name is Felicity Merritt. I am a fellow for the Economic Recovery Corps, and I work in economic development through developing local food systems in North Dakota. I live and work from my home in Fargo, and my favorite summer activity, I had farmers markets ready to go, but I would say maybe like hiking. Not necessarily hiking in North Dakota, which it's still good. It's just not my favorite. But I grew up in Oregon, and that was like our summer activity that we would do all the time, all summer long. So, and I will pass it to Dawn.
Hi, I'm Dawn Rognerd. I'm president of Town Square Farmers Market and serve as a lead on Blue Zone's food policy committee. I'm not going to deviate. I'm sorry, Jen. I'm going to jump on your bandwagon and say farmers market as well. Let's see. Chris.
Hello, I'm Chris Gessley. I'm with the North Dakota Association of Rural Electric Co-ops in Mandan, and I live in Bismarck. I would say that my favorite summer activity is trail running. So I'm at my best for myself and others when I can get out and sweat outdoors a little bit. I'll pass it to Stephanie.
There we go. Hi, I'm Stephanie Bloomhagen. I'm up in Bottineau, North Dakota. I'm the executive director for farms. And yes, my favorite summer activity is swimming in the lake, which I have managed to do twice, although it was more of just a quick polar plunge dunk and then right out because they're still cold. I'll pass it to Shelby.
Hello, I'm Shelby. I'm the marketing manager for Farms. I work and live in my home in Rugby, North Dakota. I would say my favorite summer activity is probably doing summer theater. Usually I'm involved in some sort of program. I'm taking the summer off, but I'm excited to see some of the shows at MSU Summer Theater this year in Minot in my free time.
And Shelby, who do you want to pass it to?
Sorry. Jill.
Thanks, Shelby. Jill Hawkinson, Community Development Specialist with USDA Rural Development out of the Devil's Lake office. I serve in an advisory capacity here with North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance. And I think my favorite summer pastime, it's not weeding in the garden, but watching it grow and picking things out. And I love gardening. The weeding part, not so much, and I know that's a big summer activity, but just as produce ripens and picking produce, that's my favorite thing. Is there anyone left? I'm going through here and, oh, Mitch. I will pass it to Mitch.
Yeah, Mitch Culkins, the program manager at Lake Agassiz Regional Council. My favorite summer activity, I think it'll have to be sitting around the campfire with some friends, just staying up later than we probably should, but kind of camping. So, Tracy, have you gone yet?
Nope. Tracy Redlin, I'm the executive director at South Central Dakota Regional Council out of Jamestown, and my favorite summertime activity is definitely riding horse. And Ellen, did Ellen go?
Hi, nope, I haven't gone yet. Ellen Knutson Duffy out of Bismarck, serve as the board treasurer for NDL-FDA, and I work in the renewable energy sector as the director of finance for Light Spring Solar. My favorite summer activity is probably when we all come out of hibernation and go to outdoor concerts, whether that be at a farmer's market or the Blue Stem or wherever. There's some great concerts that happen. And sorry, I have my camera off today. I'm traveling, so I will be listening and participating with that off. But thanks, Jenna, for hosting.
Yeah, well, thank you, everyone. Those were some unique answers, so I'm glad we have a good range. If you were to ask my dog, it would just be being outside with a frisbee. Like in the winter time, she doesn't really seem to acknowledge that it exists, but in the summertime, it's all about the frisbee. So then that's another thing that I'd love to do is spend time with my dog outside. So up next, as our featured guest speaker today, we have Stephanie Blumhagen. She's the executive director of Farms, and she was a longtime member on the NDL-FDA board herself, and she's going to talk about some Farms updates and upcoming events. So Stephanie, you can take it away.
Thank you, Jenna. Thanks for having me come and share about Farms today. Farms has been a member of NDL-FDA for quite since the beginning, actually, since NDL-FDA was founded. And I've worked with everyone on this call. And so you're all familiar with Farms, but we've added many new programs over recent years. And we often find that people are familiar with one or two programs that they've engaged with, but they might not be aware of the full breadth of what we do at Farms. So I'm happy to be here today to share with you what we've accomplished over the past 24 years, some of the new programs we've developed, and our new strategic plan. So can you all see the screen that I'm sharing? Okay, great. So, so we are the foundation for agricultural and rural resources management and sustainability. We are Farms with 2 R's, and we are proud to say that we are growing a community of farmers, and together with those farmers, we are re-envisioning a sustainable local food future for our state. We've been providing education and support to grow the sustainable ag and local food community for the past 24 years. We were founded back in the year 2000 in Medina as the educational arm of International Certification Services, an organic certification company that was founded by Fred Kirschenman, and his daughter Annie Kirschenman pulled together the first board and laid the foundations for what is today Farms. Next year, we'll celebrate our 25th anniversary. So stay tuned for news about a celebration. And so why do we need an organization like Farms? Why do we need a sustainable ag organization? Well, here's the bad news. The total acreage farmed in North Dakota is growing, but that just means that the farmland is being consolidated into mega farms because the number of farmers is shrinking and our farmers are aging. The average age of a farmer in our state is 56. Also, years of industrialized agriculture has taken a toll on our environment. 1/3 of all topsoil in the Midwest has been lost to wind and water erosion, and plains topsoil has been found on the East Coast, showing just how far and how significant wind erosion can be. Also, in not so much in North Dakota, but other Midwestern states suffer from serious water pollution in their waterways due to agricultural runoff. And the area that's most pertinent to the North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance is food access and food deserts. So even though we have 25,900 farms and 39 million acres in production in our state, almost our entire state qualifies as a food desert. And this means that people in these areas live far from grocery stores. And as you all are probably aware, we've lost, we've lost a fifth of our rural grocery stores over the past few years. And these are things that we're trying to address. So that's the bad news. The good news is that we have a whole host of farmers who want to change these things. They want to farm differently. They want to care for their soil, air, water, and wildlife. They want to grow food for their communities. And Farms exists to support these farmers. These are the people that we're empowering to create thriving, sustainable communities in our state. And these are just some pictures of the farmers we serve. So who is Farms for? Who do we serve? We say we serve anyone who's interested in farming sustainably. When we at Farms say sustainable, we mean the 3 Ps: people, planet, and profit. Are you as a farmer concerned about the impacts and benefits to your community, to the environment, and are you making thoughtful business decisions? Our farmers that we serve are primarily growing food for direct market. They're growing, they're not growing commodities. They're growing food for local markets, for farmers markets, CSAs, food co-ops, farm to school programs, and more. People we work with are mostly small acreage farmers. The majority are farming on less than 10 acres. And in fact, most are farming on less than an acre. And we serve the state of North Dakota, but we also serve border regions. You can't serve Fargo without also serving Moorhead, Grand Forks without East Grand Forks, etc. In December of 2023, we did a survey of local food producers across the state of North Dakota. We had about 120 responses. About 60 of those were complete responses. And from that, we learned that our local food producers are predominantly female, and they're predominantly younger than the average farmer, and they're new to farming. So over half are female, about half are under age 40. A third have been farming less than 5 years, and more than half have been farming less than 10 years. The USDA calls you a beginning farmer if you've been farming 10 years or less. And of the people that responded to our survey, actually 12% were new Americans and 14% were military veterans, which shows that there's opportunity to serve these audiences and help them grow as farmers. And over half were growing on less than an acre, and they're predominantly small businesses. Almost 70% said their total farm income is less than $30,000 a year. So knowing all these things, the problems that exist and the solutions that we can provide, Farms staff and board sat down this spring to renew our strategic plan for the next 3 years. And we wrote a new mission and vision statements. Actually, I just realized these got switched around. So I love our new tagline. We're a dedicated partner in farming success and growth. Our vision is that the conditions that we want to see, we want to see a thriving, sustainable North Dakota communities. And to achieve that vision, our mission is that we develop a system of educational, social, and economic connections to empower farmers to build sustainable, profitable enterprises. So it's really about the farmers. We empower the farmers, and they are the ones who are creating thriving, sustainable communities. And a quick thank you to Felicity and our board member, Jane Schreck, and our consultants from Thresholds Consulting, Noreen Kesey, who did a great job of helping us with this. So towards that vision and mission, we came up with 3 primary goals that shape our programs. One, we are supporting early career farmers with diverse agriculture enterprises through their first decade of business. We are increasing environmental stewardship through earth-friendly farming practices, and we're increasing access to local ag products for everyone. So how do we do that? This is the meat of today's presentation, because we have so many great programs that I'm really excited to tell you about. The biggest goal is that first one, supporting early career farmers. And we do that through education. Our core program is Farm Beginnings, which is a business planning course where we help them create a whole farm plan. And I have a bunch of slides about that. We also have a mentorship program to connect them with experienced farmers. We provide workshops and webinars throughout the year. We provide direct technical assistance and help them find financing, and so much more. So Farm Beginnings. First of all, we want to say that it's unique because it's farmer-led, it's community-based, and it's focused on sustainable agriculture. This is what sets it apart from other traditional business planning courses. We are part of, well, we started offering this in 2007 when we were still more focused on organics. But today it's organics and all kinds of sustainable agriculture. We're part of an organization called the Farm Beginnings Collaborative. We're one of 13 or actually maybe 14 organizations across the upper Midwest and the Northeast and North Carolina that all offer beginning farmer training called Farm Beginnings. And together, we share curriculum, we share ideas, we support each other. Farm Beginnings is also certified by the USDA Farm Service Agency as a certified borrower training program for those who are applying for FSA loans. Over 200 farmers have completed our Farm Beginnings course. And we used to hold the course in person prior to COVID. We've held the course in Medina, Mandan, Rugby, Fargo, Dickinson, Tuttle, And now we hold the course online. What else do you need to know about Farm Beginnings? It is we have a page on our website. So we bring in a certified holistic financial management trainer named Cree Bradley. So there's a lot of emphasis on financial management and business planning. We also turn to local farmers for their expertise, and we bring them in as our speakers, and we compensate them for their time in speaking. So one of those is Jen Skoog, who runs Family Roots Farm south of Fargo. She is an accountant by trade, and so she brings that expertise to both her farm and also training other farmers to be better stewards of their farm businesses. We have a whole array of business planning and sustainable farming webinars on our website. And eventually this will become our resource directory. I apologize, I had these pulled up and then there we go. So this talk is also an opportunity for me to showcase our brand new website, which Shelby has put hours and hours of love and sweat and hard work into, and it's absolutely beautiful. So farms.org, under the workshops and webinars tab, you can see recordings of several years worth of workshops that we have held. So this is like getting to go to a sustainable ag conference, but you don't have to leave your home, or you could listen in your car or while you're weeding in your garden. There's lots of content on here on organic certification, soil health, farmers markets, pollinators, farm food safety, digital marketing, farm finance, plant medicine for beginners with Linda Black Elk has been a phenomenally popular webinar and is really good. We also have a farm dreams workshop. This is for those who are dreaming of farming but not sure if they're ready to take the next step. This is a free 2-part workshop that takes part every fall. It includes a farming readiness assessment and an opportunity to meet experienced farmers and discuss your farm dreams with others in the workshop. We also, we will soon have a resource directory on this website, and we are pulling that together from years worth of resources that we've compiled through all of these workshops and webinars. A lot of what we do is technical assistance in growing local food businesses. We are a partner with many of the regional planning councils through the North Central Regional Food Business Center. And through that, we provide business advising and support. We also have our own lending program. So, and this is something that we have been growing, this business advising. We have offered small loans for years. And thank you to Lori Martin for sharing her story for our website about her experience with the Farms Loan. Over the last 2 years, we've been expanding on that so that when someone comes to us for a loan, we also can talk with them about their business goals and dreams and help connect them to small business development centers, business advisors, and help point them towards other loans and grants that exist, that especially low interest loans that can benefit them. And through the North Central Regional Food Business Center, we can also help them with the business builder grants as well. Growing community is really the cornerstone of everything we do. Relationships are our top priority. And so we work hard to create a community for the farmers that we serve. One of the ways we do this is mentorship. Anyone who enrolls in our Farm Beginnings course gets paired with a mentor for the duration of the course. And this year, Jake, our farmer educator, has expanded on that mentorship program to create a mentorship program that runs through the summer. So we have, I believe, 3 or 4 mentor-mentee pairs that are meeting together right now. We offer some financial compensation to the mentors for their time. They visit each other's farms, they answer questions, and we give them a membership in Farm Commons, which is a nonprofit that provides educational resources on farm legal issues. We also do our best to hold farmer socials whenever possible. We, for example, this past winter during the in Bismarck at the North Dakota Farmers Market Growers Association and Department of Ag's local food conference, we held a farmer social that evening just to give farmers, you know, our farmers are scattered across the state and they often feel isolated. So we try to create spaces where they can connect with other farmers and begin to build those relationships that really kind of sustain them emotionally and just help them, give them renew their spirit for the work of farm business. Another way we create community is we've launched a new Producer's Perspective blog series. So we invite farmers to write blog posts about things that they've been doing. Excuse me. Our most recent one is from Jen Skoog, and she shares baby lamb pictures. And then we publish these on our website, our newsletter. We have also this year started to offer travel assistance to help farmers attend conferences. So this year we helped farmers attend the Marble Seed Organic Farming Conference in La Crosse, Wisconsin. We helped them attend the Dakota Local Food Conference. We helped one farmer attend an AI school in Dickinson so that she could AI her milk cow. In return for this financial assistance, we ask them to write a blog post or do an interview to share the knowledge that they gained from that conference in some way so that the whole community of growers can benefit from that conference. Another new project, which we don't have on the website right now, is we partner with the Organic Crop Improvement Association out of Colorado, OCIA, to provide education about transitioning to certified organic farming. And this is through the USDA's TOP, Transition to Organic Production Program or something. So we offer field days, webinars, education on social media. We incorporate education on organics into our internship program, one-on-one technical assistance, all to help farmers gain that certification. We also work, this is a lot of different things. I'm trying to keep moving so that I don't take up too much of your time. We also do work to promote our farmers. If our farmers are to grow their businesses, they need customers. And if they're there to get customers, people need to know about them. So we produce an annual farmer calendar. There's that slide. Our first calendar was in 2023. It was very well received, partly, I think, in fact, do the picture of the adorable baby goat, which is Mike and Alicia Pretzer's, actually it's their daughter's goat. But we love that picture. And we did a second calendar in 2024, and that was even more warmly received. And we are currently working on the 2025 farmer calendar. We showcase high quality photos of the farmers. We hire photographers to go out and do these photo shoots. The farmers get the photos to use, so they're getting marketing tools and marketing education in the process. We share a bio about the farmer, and we share recipes in the calendar as well. And if any of you would like a calendar and haven't gotten one yet, let us know. We still have a few. Another way that we tell our farmer stories is we have launched our new farmer directory. This is a way to showcase our farmers. It includes images, a story about what they do, their bios, contact information, where you can purchase their products, and then a link to the North Dakota local food map published by the Department of Agriculture so that you can also find them there. And we are also encouraging farmers to renew or update their registration on the North Dakota local food map. So this is not a replacement for the local food map, that it is meant to work hand in hand with it. And we have been in communication with Department of Ag as we were putting this together. How else are we promoting farmers? Farm tours, summer farm tours. And I will tell you about our upcoming farm tours a little bit later. Each summer, last summer, was really the first year that we really did public facing farm tours. We had tours in Minot and Fargo, and those were very well received. We will be going to a number of locations this summer. And also coming soon is a digital marketing course to help farmers their online market, setting up shops, media marketing, helping them spread the word about their farm businesses. Finally, growing local food systems. And this includes our work with North Dakota Local Food Development Alliance. We've been a member of NDLFDA from the beginning. And now we work for NDLFDA through the North Central Regional Food Business Center to enact NDLFDA's deliverables as a TA advisory member of the North Central Regional Food Business Center. We're also a member of the steering committee for the statewide local food action plan, which we'll share about in a few minutes. And we've started producing an annual local food producer survey so that all of us have some data about the local food movement and local food producers in North Dakota that will help us as we write grant applications, as we try to tell our story to get more attention and support for the movement. We've also at Farms started a farmer advisory group so that we can do focus groups to dig a little bit more deeply into the data we get from the survey. And we've called this advisory group SAGES, Sustainable Agriculture. Yeah, shoot, I can't remember. But SAGES are wise and they're experienced, and that describes our farmers. We are a partner with the North Dakota Association of Rural Electric Cooperatives on a local food warehousing project. And also we have a new food systems internship program this year, which is in its pilot year. We have previously had a sustainable ag internship program and a farmers market internship program. Both of those programs, the grants that funded them ran their course. And so we no longer had the funding to pay the stipends to the interns. These are always paid internships. And so when that happened, we took the opportunity to pivot and recreate the program as a broader food systems internship. So we currently have 3 interns, 2 in Fargo and 1 in Bismarck, who are learning about the length and breadth of food systems, from everything from, farming to marketing to policy, healthcare, food security, waste management, and so much more. And finally, a shout out to the people that make farms what we are. We have an amazing staff. Shelby Hazel is our marketing manager who put together this incredible website. Jake Callender is our farmer educator who runs the Farm Beginnings program, the educational workshops, and the mentorship program. Jenna Nieders is our local food educator, and she is in charge of the new food systems program. And Katie Erickson is our events and outreach specialist, Vista, who does all the things and helps with messaging and coordination and systems building. We also, I would be remiss if I didn't mention our phenomenal board of directors, Lindy Berg from Towner County Extension, Brittany Barnett, who is a farmer in Ardnagar, North Dakota, Drain Schreck is a retired English professor from Bismarck, and Paul Overby is a farmer from Wolford. So I think that's a good place to pause and ask if there are any questions.
Just a comment that the website looks fantastic. Good job.
Are there any positions open at farms right now?
Ah, thank you. Oh, Shelby, where is it? The employment page.
It's under contact. There's a work with us tab.
Yeah, thanks. The website just launched, so I'm still we have an AmeriCorps position that is still open for a communications capacity building member. This AmeriCorps member would get to work with Shelby, yay, on all things communications related, helping with social media, they would get to go to farms and interview farmers to create content for our YouTube and our social media channels. It'd be a great learning opportunity. And so the apply here button is, so it's under contact us on our webpage. Thank you, Felicity.
Did you also want to talk about upcoming events this summer?
Yes. So if anybody wants to support farms through a contribution, we welcome donations of any size. We also invite sponsorships from businesses. Farms.org/donate or farms.org/sponsor, both on our website. There's lots of ways to connect with us, and Shelby will drop those in the chat, our website, Facebook and Instagram, or just send us an email, info@farms, or call us, and Shelby will put that info there. We have some upcoming events, and they are posted on our website on the events list. The next one is June 27th in Grafton. The Walsh County Soil Conservation District holds an annual Arbor Walk as part of the Grafton Summerfest. And we are joining them, hosting a social from 8:30 a.m. to 9. And then we'll share a bit about farms, and we'll help host the Arbor Walk from 9 to 11, which is a guided walking tour about a mile long on the scenic trail at Leistikow Memorial Park. It borders the river. There's a beautiful pollinator garden planted which we'll learn about from Heather Slarski, who is the Grafton Farmers Market Manager and a Master Gardener. And a newly planted FFA orchard. So there's some great things going on in Grafton. Walsh County Soil Conservation District's doing a phenomenal job. So we invite you to join us if you can. We will also be hosting a celebration of local food and farmers at the Hillsborough Between Two Cities Farmers Market on July 25th. And with an optional tour of Jake's Nature's Roots farm, his composting, worm composting operation, as well as Hughes Gardens potato warehouse. Those are optional tours at Halstad, Minnesota in the afternoon. And then on August 12th, we have a soil health tour in the Bismarck area. We will be visiting Minokan Farm to learn about soil health, and then Forager Farm to learn about certified organic farming from Jonathan and Hannah at Forager Farm. Well, thank you for your time. Thank you for letting me share with you about all the great things that we're doing, and especially to show off our amazing new website. And I will give the floor back to Jenna.
All right, thank you, Stephanie. I work with farms, so I knew that, but I appreciated the presentation and everything getting put together, and I agree. Shelby did a really good job on the website. So kudos to Shelby. I know you worked really hard on that. So again, good job. So moving on, just briefly, we have an update on the North Central Regional Food Business Center, and this also involves Stephanie as well as Chris. There's been a statewide action plan steering committee put together. And so the statewide action plan is linked in the agenda, but if you click into it, there are the key opportunities that were identified from that survey. And maybe I can share my screen. And so the key opportunities, such as using the strategies to create and maintain a public-facing web presence. We'll talk about this in our next update. Support the growth of businesses and market expansion, the supply chain. These strategies that were put together, we don't want them to go to waste. And so we've, Stephanie and Chris have worked to gather an action plan steering committee. And I am sorry, the actual groups involved are failing me. And so Stephanie, Chris, if you wanted to give us an update on which of the groups that are involved, please do.
Yeah. Chris, do you wanna share? My voice is starting to go.
Sure. But you had such good momentum going that you could just continue on, but but yeah, I'll share the load. So the groups involved in the steering committee are all the statewide North Dakota partners involved in the RFPC. So it's Farmers Union, NDAREC, Farms, the Women's Business Center is the evaluator for the RFPC, and then the Local Foods Development Alliance. And then we have a couple advisory positions or advisors to the committee who I think have been approached, but Felicity, you're one of those, and then Teresa from the USDA AMS. And we've talked about having a regional council representative on the committee too, just to get their perspective and make sure that the steering committee isn't delegating is not the right word, but isn't asking the regional councils to do something that they're not comfortable with, or it's outside their lane. And we've met once, and we'll be meeting a second time tomorrow. And yeah, so far we've just kind of talked through the local foods plan and and talked about why it was created and kind of our mission as a steering committee. And the purpose is just, yeah, like Jenna said, for it not to collect dust. Just kind of make sure there's accountability in getting these tasks performed. And, we talked about too that we need to look at what other states are doing. And I think that North Dakota is ahead of the game in terms of, a plan development. And then we've learned too that the North Dakota plan, along with the plan from Minnesota and South Dakota, are going to feed up into a tri-state local foods action plan. And we don't know the process of that development yet, but that is, that's the plan, I guess. That's the course of action. Stephanie, did I miss anything?
I think you covered it. I'm sorry, did you cover who's on the steering committee?
I covered the organizations.
Okay, perfect. Yeah. Yeah, so I think the regional councils and the other members of the RFBC will be hearing from us on the steering committee in the coming months as we sort of work out a plan for who's responsible for which deliverables in the statewide action plan. But that will be an ongoing process, and of course we won't assign anybody a deliverable that they're not comfortable with. This would be a discussion and an invitation to participate.
And then regarding the Regional Food Business Center, have they decided the grant awardees yet for this year?
We got a response back from Amanda that they will announce a decision by June 30th.
Oh, okay.
That's all we know. So no, there hasn't been an official announcement yet.
Okay. Thank you. Does anyone have any other questions on the North Central Regional Food Business Center before we move on? We are going to touch on one of those key opportunities in our next update here. So,
I guess I'll just note that the annual summit for all 3 states is going to be August 6th and 7th. And we'll send out more information about that soon.
yes, thank you.
I put that link in the chat. There is a registration on the North Central Regional Food Business Center website now to register for that event and to make hotel reservations. So that is up.
Yeah.
And for the RFBC partners, there's a new TA reporting tool, I believe, too, that I haven't seen yet from the Women's Business Center. But just a reminder to the partners.
Yeah, I got the quarterly email from Stephanie Barney about the reporting and the progress report link and the things so on behalf of NDLFDA. So those of you who are on the call who represent regional planning councils or other partners, you've probably received or will receive your quarterly communication from Stephanie Barney.
Okay, thank you for mentioning that, Stephanie. I included that in the agenda, and I also put the link, Felicity, that you provided in the chat to the summit page, so people can RSVP. So thank you. So then moving on to some of our member and NDLFDA updates. So looping back a little bit to one of those key opportunities, which was having a centralized resource database website. And I know Mitch, you volunteered, I think when we met last week, and me, and then of course Felicity, who is kind of heading the whole thing. And one other, Teresa Bertoli, is she who volunteered, or am I just thinking that out of nothing?
Someone from the Sewers Basin, Madeline, this
Okay.
is their new communications or marketing person. And Mary from NDAREC have volunteered. So I think we have a pretty good diverse group, and we are meeting tomorrow. So could also be a reminder for Jenna and Mitch. We'll have our first meeting about this website. And then hopefully in our next NDL-FDA meeting, I will have a little bit of an update about the direction we want to take this website. Just kind of as a background, we want it to be a resource for people interested in local food broadly, because there's no really central landing page for local food resources in North Dakota. So that's what we are going to be talking about in our working group. If anyone does want to volunteer or has input, feel free to email me and let me know. I welcome input from anyone. So this is supposed to be a resource that serves all of us.
So we're still open and accepting volunteers for that. Yes. But we have a good working group going. Would you agree? Yeah, Felicity?
Yeah.
Okay. Great. Yeah, so tomorrow at 1 p.m., I believe we're meeting for those of you in Central Standard Time. So yeah, we'll meet tomorrow virtually at 1 p.m. to discuss more details with Felicity on that. I'm going to open it up. Do we have any other member updates that we'd like to share?
I have just a quick update on the agro-tourism and agro-recreation ordinance that Burleigh County is drafting. I've been going to the stakeholder meetings and being an active participant, and kind of what I'm finding is we're coming up against just maybe lack of education on what a farm is and the size of a farm and definitions of local agriculture. So the same concerns that I've shared before are still kind of my same concerns. They haven't budged on the changing the acreage limit to under 40 acres. So I did have the county pull the data on all the agricultural parcels that are less than 40 acres, and I have yet to compile and figure out how many parcels there are. And then there's still some problems with some of the definitions of what they are considering an event. And so I think what's going to come of it is that they're probably just going to put this before the zoning board, and people are going to go have to testify and say, hey, these are the things that are maybe concerning that we should change the language around. But if you guys want to keep updated with that, I really suggest that you reach out to Marla McMonigal. She's the planning and zoning admin, and she will add you to the list. It's really too much for me to keep all track of and share with everybody, but it's been pretty interesting process. And Mary Podol's been very active in that. I think that's her last name, right? Stoll Farms. Yeah. And then Sarah Audie Coleman from the tourism department has also been really active. And I think they should hear from other producers if they have opinions on that, especially local to Burleigh County farmers. So that's kind of the update there. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask or email me too.
I'm not sure if it would be useful or not, but I noticed that Farm Commons, this is a national farm legal education organization. They're doing a webinar on zoning and farm events coming up. So, and farm has an institutional membership through Farm Commons, so anybody who wants access to their resources, we can help facilitate that.
Great. That'd be great to know when that's happening, Stephanie. I'd love to be a part of that. Also, some of the data that you presented in your presentation today, I think would be helpful to forward on about, women farmers and local agricultural statistics. I think that the planning and zoning is kind of viewing it through like big agricultural commodity crop farming, and they just can't even wrap their head around a small farm, what that means. So
Absolutely. I'm happy to share that. And I'm also preparing a report on the whole survey results statewide that will be shared very soon. But I would also be happy
Cool.
to filter that data by Burleigh County respondents.
okay, great. Thank you.
Thank you, Ellen. Appreciate that you've been on top of it, or be at least being able to spread the information far and wide. Is there any other updates from any other members? Okay, so last thing on here is the NDLFDA board recruitment. We are almost at a full board. I think we're at 7 individuals now, but because Jill is ex officio, I think we would need one more voting member. So if you're interested, please submit an application. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. We could have any of the NDLFDA members, I'm sure would be happy to discuss with you if you know any of them better than the others, or even just our president or me as the secretary. So yeah. And our next meeting will be next month on July 16th. And we will have to stay tuned for who we'll have speaking for our July 16th meeting. That'll be the second Tuesday at 1:45 for the social, and then 2 p.m. for the member meeting. And the information from today's meeting will also share out in an update reminder email as well, so that you'll have the link to register for the annual summit over August, as well as the contact information for Marla McMonigal, in case you want to be added to that email update list, and then the board application form. If anyone wants to submit updates, you can through the NDLFDA website. Currently, obviously with the redesign, we'll be looking at changes, but you can still submit updates through there. And yeah, any last questions? Anything anyone wants to add before we say goodbye? Okay. Thank you, everyone. Have a good afternoon. Enjoy your Tuesday and enjoy your summer activity. I hope you can get out and do a lot of it this summer.
Thanks, Jenna.
Thank you, Jenna. Thanks, everyone. Bye-bye.